When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated, because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers as well as the robbers. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations. And so that's why I wanted to point out, don't give me this fake outrage about criminals roaming our streets when you guys stand 10 toes down for the biggest criminal that we have ever seen go into the White House.
You have built a political movement that has transformed the Republican Party. It's transformed the country, quite frankly.
Political movement in history, MAGA. Make America great again.
When you look to the future, Mr. President, do you think the MAGA movement can survive without you as its leader?
Yes, I do.
What gives you?
I think it's so strong, and I think we have tremendous people. I think we have a tremendous group of people. We talked about a number of them. You look at Marco, you look at J.D. Vance, who's fantastic. You look at, I could name 10, 15, 20 people right now just sitting here. No, I think we have a tremendous party. And you know what I can't name? I can't name one Democrat. I mean, I look at the Democrats, they're in total disarray. They have a new person named Crockett. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. And they said, she's the future of the party. I said, you have to be kidding. I don't know what they're going to do. And I really believe in a two-party system. Because it's good to be challenged. It's really good to have a two-party. You know, it's good. Being challenged is okay. It keeps you sharp. I don't know what they're going to do. They have nobody. Bernie's 87 years old or something. And, you know, Biden is the worst thing that ever happened to old people because he was grossly incompetent. And I think maybe for artificial reasons. You know, he had operations and things. So maybe that's an artificial. But I know people that are unbelievably sharp, and they're older than 87. But I watch Bernie Sanders. He's a nut job, but he's still sharp. He's sharp as he's the same guy he was. He hasn't gone down.
Boy. So we got to talk about Ghetto Democrat Jasmine Crockett, okay, who has been called out by President Trump. As you guys saw at the beginning of this video, President Trump called out Jasmine Crockett, right, as a low IQ individual, one of the emerging leaders of the Democrat Party. Okay, he said things that I believe are factual statements about Jasmine Crockett and the type of people that she appeals to. And Jasmine Crockett plus her fans, okay, her voters, are upset, right? They're pissed off about President Trump calling out Jasmine Crockett. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Can somebody please tell me, because I have no fucking clue what Trump is ever talking about. Why are mediocre MAGA men so fucking afraid of women like Jasmine Crockett? Because Trump keeps saying that shit over and over again. It is a dog whistle, okay? You really are afraid of educated black women. Just take a listen.
I can't name one Democrat. I mean, I look at the Democrats. They're in total disarray. They have a new person named Crockett. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. And they said, she's the future of the party. I said,
then, of course, Loomer had to chime in. On Meet the Press this morning, President Trump said what we're all thinking. No, we aren't. That's you, dumbass. That is you who thinks that. You and insecure people like Trump. I look at the Democrats. They have a new person named Crockett. I watched her speak the other day, and she's definitely a low IQ person. IQ politics is real. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Low IQ? Fucking where, bro? Huh, look at that. She attended the University of Houston Law Center, graduated in 2006 with a Juris Doctor. She was a member of the National Bar Association and the Dallas Black Criminal Bar Association. She completed law school and soon passed the bar examination in 2006. She became a public defender for Bowie County and later formed a law firm which handled car accidents and lawsuits and took pro bono cases for Black Lives Matter activists. Crockett is a Baptist, you know, an actual Christian, and a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Yeah, but Trump here looks like he graduated in 1968 from University of Pennsylvania with a Bachelor of Science in Economics. Bro, get a refund. And then Loomer, she got a bad.
See, it's so funny because President Trump graduated from the Wharton Business School, right? I mean, we're talking about one of the best business schools in the world. Clearly, this individual doesn't really know that. Furthermore, having a degree doesn't mean that you are intelligent. You can be a complete and total idiot and have a degree, okay? I mean, that probably describes most college-educated liberals, right? They are people with degrees that are not very intelligent, not very smart. So having a college degree doesn't mean anything. But if you want to use the whole college degree thing, right? If you want to play the credentials argument, again, President Trump went to one of the best business schools, the best schools in the world, period. Jasmine Crockett went to Rhodes College, which has a 50% acceptance rate. Not one of the best schools in the world, not even close. And then went to law school at the University of Houston, which is not even in the top 50 for law schools in the country. So, again, if you want to play that game, Jasmine Crockett loses, right? But I don't think that a college degree is a sign of intelligence, right? So I don't even buy into the premise of the argument that this woman is making. But if she wants to make this argument, President Trump definitely went to better schools and has a much better resume than Jasmine Crockett, if you want to use that as a measure of intelligence and IQ.
Bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism. So no, Laura, now, we aren't all thinking the same fucking thing. Normal human beings, rational human beings are like, please get this woman every fucking platform she deserves. Please get this woman in front of every microphone she can. Because only reason that Trump would talk shit is because that motherfucker is scared. All the fucking Jasmines, the Bernies, the AOCs, the Hakeem Jeffries, the Cory Bookers, okay? That's who is leading us right now. In fact, Miss Jasmine actually wanted to be an accountant, and her professors were like, nah, babe, you got way too much personality. You have way too much personality for that. So, she went into politics. I am so damn glad I wake up every fucking morning and know that this woman is...
Yeah, so this is NPC behavior, right? That's what that is. But Jasmine Crockett did respond to this video and President Trump. She's triggered by this. She says, quote, imagine being busy getting another honorary doctorate and delivering the commencement address to encourage and empower the leaders of quote unquote today, and right before boarding your flight to depart, learning that diabolical, delusional, demented, dumb Don was busy trying to challenge your IQ again. Now, I mean, here's the thing, right? Getting an honorary doctorate doesn't mean anything. Again, these people are so obsessed with these diplomas, right? They're obsessed with these worthless pieces of paper. Imagine bragging about an honorary doctorate, right? Which they give away to Hollywood actors and stuff like that, right? Like, that's not anything to brag about. I think President Trump has like 5 honorary doctorates, right? So having an honorary doctorate is, it's like, okay, and so what? You got one. Okay, fine. Again, there's nothing to brag about. It doesn't prove anything. While I was literally speaking to graduates, not because I forced myself upon them, cough, cough, Alabama, but because they legitimately love and respect what I have to say, he was still flunking and coming in last for the presidential class. But instead of trying to start to pass, he's immaturely and inaccurately attacking me. And it doesn't stop there, right? She responded directly to being called a low IQ person by lashing out and saying, for you to be in charge of the whole country, you sure do have my name in your mouth a lot. Every time you say my name, you're reminding the world that you're terrified of smart, bold black women telling the truth and holding you accountable. So keep talking. Yeah, so she's basically playing a race card here, trying to say that, well, President Trump is attacking her because she's a quote-unquote strong black woman. Now, I don't think President Trump is attacking her because she's a quote-unquote strong black woman. I think that he's attacking her because she's a delusional Democrat and pointing to people like Jasmine Crockett and saying, yes, this is the future of the Democrat Party is actually a very, very, very smart move because these people, anytime they're talking, first and foremost, they're lying. But on top of that, they're defending the indefensible. Like, for example, illegal immigration. I mean, Jasmine Crockett has come out here numerous times and declared that one of the reasons why she wants illegals coming into the country, invading the country, is because we need new slaves to pick our cotton, right? Because black folks aren't picking cotton anymore.
Kidnapping folk and you throwing them out of the country against their civil rights, against their constitutional rights. And frankly, how would they feel if some other country decided that they were going to just start throwing people randomly in our country? Like that is absolutely insane. So yes, all I got to say is y'all need to get these fools out of here. But so I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
Yeah, so that is why it is smart for President Trump to highlight people like Jasmine Crockett, right, to put a spotlight on her, because ultimately she is a representation of the Democrat Party. This is what the Democrat Party believes in, okay? This is the future of the Democrat Party, okay? This is the future of the party, what you see here on the screen. So when she does interviews, when she goes on MSNBC and you listen to these people talk, you know exactly why Republicans, again, want to put a spotlight on these people, because they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, crazy, insane. It has nothing to do with her being a black woman, right? It has nothing to do with racism, okay, which is what she's alluding to. Trump was afraid of strong black women. No. Trump just wants the world to see how delusional and deranged the Democrat Party has become.
Kamala Harris spoke out. She's been laying pretty low, but she spoke out about some of this tension within the Democratic Party of what you do, and named some names, including yours. Let's take a look.
And I will tell you, the courage of all these Americans inspires me to lift up voices and advance freedom and justice, including congressional leaders like Cory Booker, Chris Van Hollen, Chris Murphy, Jasmine Crockett, all who, in different ways, have been speaking with moral clarity about this moment.
One difference seems to be whether we're after an election where Democrats said democracy itself is on the line and we're facing an autocrat, then do you just go back to saying, well, never mind, we wrote a letter, we'll hold a hearing and be done with it. Van Hollen, of course, traveled on that mission. Booker, we saw. People have said that you seem to be taking it up a notch.
Yeah.
Are you guys still, though, in a minority within your party?
I mean, I would say so. I do believe that. I think that everyone is trying to be very responsive to their district, and I can't speak for any other district. I can tell you that my district wants me to speak out and be loud and be proud at all times. But you know what? We've got lots of great opportunities, and so I'm looking forward to some of the things that we're going to do on Oversight as we continue to push back against this administration. Now that we know that they are doing things such as, you know, snatching people off the streets and throwing them down in what I would consider to be concentration camps or prisons. And these are people that haven't been convicted of anything. And it's wrong. Listen, we have oversight over them. If we are in a contract with El Salvador, then it is us that have to decide as to whether or not they are violating human rights. And so we have to be given an opportunity to inspect. So even if James Comer says, no, Democrats, you can't go down there, well, we are elected members of the Oversight Committee. So we should be requiring that they turn over reports to us. Same thing with the FDA is they're going out and they're firing people, and we don't know what its impact is going to be as it relates to our food supply, and they don't want to tell us about it, whether or not our food is going to be safe. Then guess what? We need to make sure that we require that they turn those documents over to us. And if they don't, guess what? We need to show up at their doors, and we need to conduct a field hearing right there at FDA. Same thing as it relates to the planes that are falling out of the sky.
Right.
We need some real transparency, and we need some honesty, and we need to make sure that the American people are just as enraged as we all should be.
Right.
Because this administration is truly trying to kill us, it feels like.
Wow. The face of the Democrat Party. You see the eyes, guys. You see the eyes. It's not a skin color thing, right? It might be a gender thing, though. I'm just saying, to be 100% honest. But, yeah, I mean, you know, these eyes are scary eyes, right? There's a reason why this woman is saying, why she does not have a man. But Again, if you listen to her talk, she claims that President Trump is responsible for planes falling out the sky. But the New York Times just came out and said that no, what happened with the Ronald Reagan Airport crash, the crash that happened above the Ronald Reagan Airport, was a woman pilot, a female pilot, being negligent, basically, right? Had nothing to do with President Trump. But Democrats are at the point now where they're literally blaming plane crashes on the president. That's how desperate they are. Well, he's trying to kill us, right? That's the type of stuff you say when you don't have anything for the American people outside of Trump derangement, right? But again, the face that you see here, this is the face of hate and bigotry in this country, right? This is the face of division. This is what the face of division in this country looks like, right? It's the Democrat Party. It's the people who represent the Democrat Party, because that's all they have. They have nothing else outside of that. These people are insane. She's going on national television defending her colleagues, Democrats, going to another country to rescue illegal immigrants and to bring them back here to the United States of America. Well, we already know that, again, she wants those illegals to pick her cotton, right? To be our slaves. And then the Democrats try to tell you they changed. We changed. We're not the same party of slavery. It seems to me that you are, right? Look at them right now, boohoo whining crying about China. What does China have? Slave labor. So what are they ultimately really crying about? Slave labor, right? That's what they're crying about. They love slavery. They haven't changed a bit. They haven't changed a bit since the Civil War. Haven't changed at all. They're the same old Demo KKK crats, right? That's what they are, okay? And, you know, in this case of Jasmine Crockett, she might be a Diddy-crat, right? She's a Diddy-crat ring. There's the Demo KKK crats, right? It's that side of it, and then you got the Diddy-crats, right? The so-called people call it they the Diddy-crats, right? The white liberals, they the Demo KKK crats, right? So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.